Good morning. You are joining us from Burlington, Ontario today, and we are at Minty Gold and Silver Exchange. You may know Jen. Say hi, Jen.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our new location.
You've got a makeover.
We did get a makeover. We're still on Brant Street, but we're no longer upstairs. We're downstairs. We're on the southwest corner at Brant and Caroline, right beside Subway.
And you have a fancy new drive-through window.
Totally. So we recognize that not everybody has time to make that appointment, or do you need to do, you don't have a full jewelry box. Maybe you just have a couple things that are just in the way and you need a couple extra bucks. And so this is our walk-in window. You can come and join us between Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays 10 till 3. Here is an example of a 5-minute evaluation.
Okay, so I've got all these beautiful pieces here.
Easy peasy. We've got some 10 karat, 14 and 18 karat gold, 6 pieces. Took us 5 minutes to evaluate it, and it's worth $1,162.09.
Okay, well, I'm just going to take my check and come on inside.
So for the more detailed evaluations, Emily, as you know, we have lots of those here too. So we still offer that service, and we'd love you to join us for, when you're emptying out your entire jewelry box. So the ladies are just finishing up this evaluation to give you some samples of, when you've got a couple more extra chunky pieces that you're going to want to know more detailed values of. Again, we have 10, 14, and 18 karat golds, a little bit of sterling silver, a lot of pieces that are just, this is from the music festival 30 years ago.
Right.
This is from ex-husband 30 years ago.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. A ring that lost its stone, some broken hot mess of jewelry here that we're no longer wearing. The orphaned earring, we get lots of those around here. 18 karat chain, like circa 1980s.
Right, totally not in style anymore.
Not in style anymore, not really wearing it. And we would recycle all of these pieces, so they've been tested by our gamma x-ray machine.
This thing is super cool.
So cool. So this nickname is Thor, and so Thor just took Aisha took a snapshot of Thor. She'll do it again just so that you can have a look. Takes within seconds to tell us what the purity is. In this case, it's an 18 karat gold. There's 75% gold in there. So we would do that for every single piece and go through the options of what you might want to do. A lot of ladies will either remake a piece, regift it. So sometimes people come in, they're just like, can you just tell me what it's worth?
They just want to know.
Because I'm going to give it to my daughter.
Yeah.
But this one I'm not, so let's go through there. So knowing your value is a really important piece of knowing what you might want to do with it. In this case, the client decided to sell all of it. They're going to recycle all of this jewelry.
And they're getting
$2,743.
Amazing.
$43.
Okay, that's incredible. We've got so much more coming up on Morning Live. We're going to sit down, we're going to chat about some of the other pieces that you might be willing to exchange or sell or just find out the value. So don't go anywhere. Lots more coming up on Morning Live. Now, I know, Jen, you guys get a lot of stuff from estates, right? So people pass on, people get stuff handed down to them, whether it be left to them or gifted to them. And one of those things that you guys quite often get is massive coin collections.
Yeah, we see them all the time. So estates, they can be, it's very sensitive conversations.
Of course.
Grandpa left this behind and said, keep this because today it will be worth something someday. Well, today kind of is that someday. The price of the metal's really high. And in this example, it's taking Lisa a few hours to go through this evaluation, checking all of the coins. Some of them will have currency value, some of them will have commodity value, some of them will have collector value, and some of them will have premium value.
Okay.
I'll show you a couple of samples of the things that we see here all the time. Estates, sometimes the clients like to come in with their families, take the information to the lawyers, wait a year or so, whenever they're allowed to sell it, and they come back. Or they'll drop it off and say, you do your thing, and let us know when you make out.
Totally.
We're happy to do either.
Yeah.
So for example, this one here, this is a centennial set. We see a lot of these in the lab, and this is your typical silver dollar proof set from 1981.
Wow.
Fun little fact, this was done every year. This was done to commemorate Canada's anniversary. So this set has silver dollar, half dollar, or quarter, dime, all has silver value, but this coin here is a $20 22 karat coin. It is not worth $20. It is worth $20 in currency, Canadian currency, but we would buy this coin for the gold value of 22 karat at $1,576.59. So this is always a fun little it's worth what?
Yeah.
So this was like $1,700.
$20 on it
all day long. I know, it's very deceiving. Same as this set here. This is your typical silver dollar set. You'll see the oxidization of the silver here. This one has silver in it, This one down here does not have silver in it.
Okay.
And so we'll go through, what's the difference between that other than the pricing? Are there any collector coins in this collection? If there are, we'll find a collector that would potentially purchase those coins for the client. Estate evaluations can be quite extensive. We itemize everything so that the family can see all of the values of what everything is worth.
Well, because there's so much here. I mean, like, what are these little things? There's so many of them.
Those are old school silver dollars. And they are, so my grandma used to give this to us every Christmas.
Yeah.
So every year you get some of these will be marked,
Get one in your stocking or something.
Right. Yeah. And so again, they some of these coins can be 10, 20 years old. Some of them can be 40 years old. They're very deceiving because if you've never seen them before yourself, you have no idea what this stuff is and what it's worth.
Well, and a lot of the time they have the certificate of, authenticity, which is amazing. Not necessarily helpful to you guys.
No,
but
I mean, you can Google a lot of this stuff and you go down that rabbit hole and it can be very confusing as well.
Yeah, one website says one thing and one website says the other. So come in for a consultation.
We'll take the time with you and explain everything to you, what it's worth. And if you would like to sell, we're always happy to buy.
All right, well, coming up, we are going to be taking a look at some of the items that you may have lying around at home that you never use anymore that could be worth a lot of money. Welcome back to Minty Gold and Silver Exchange on Brant Street here in Burlington. We're talking to Jen, and some of the items that you find in your home or your jewelry box could be worth more than you think it is, correct?
Correct. A lot more than you think.
So you've got a pile of rings here. Should I guess which one's worth the most?
Yeah, so in this example, we've got a selection of gold and silver rings. Pick what you think is the most valuable of the bunch here. As you can see, it's all stuff that you would have worn in the past.
Yeah,
that
like
famous cluster ring.
My mom totally had one of those, and I used to have one of these. And like my first instinct is to go with this one. But I also think like this one could be worth a lot, and because the price of gold is so high right now, like this one's got to be worth a pretty penny. But then there's also this one that has tons of diamonds in it that I kind of have a matching one, but mine's smaller.
Well, fun little fact, your diamonds are actually bigger in your ring than this one.
Oh.
This is mostly like formed around the diamonds, so those diamonds are made to look bigger than they actually are.
Smart.
This ring here that you chose, this is a sterling silver cubic zirconia engagement ring, so it's worth the least of this bunch. And you're right, this one here, this is 18 karat gold, even though the emeralds are smushed in and the ring is no longer wearable. It still has the most gold value.
Wow.
For the purity of the gold, this one's 10 karat, this is 18.
Like
this has more weight.
These are just sitting in people's
They're just sitting in people's drawers, and
no one's
sometimes
wearing them.
You may want these diamonds, and if that's the case, you can take them out and repurpose them or make the ring into something new. But the majority of the value in this case is the metal value, which is the gold. Being at all-time high, we would buy this ring, recycle it, and turn it into pure gold. So this is pure silver and gold. This is known as bullion. It's 99.5% or higher purity. In this case, that's 999.
Wow.
So we buy banks bullion back. So if you have a bullion piece, a coin, a bar, any size, any denominations, we'll buy it back. It doesn't have to be, it can be TD, it can be CIBC, Scotiabank, PAMP Suisse from the mints, the Royal Canadian Mints. We buy back all bullion.
Oh my gosh.
And we recycle this jewelry.
Yeah.
So this is samples. Turn it into that.
Yeah.
So, for example, your charm bracelet from long ago, sterling silver. Your, little charms from back in the day that you no longer wear.
Yeah, like when you've been gifted something that just has sat in your jewelry box forever. These tiny little earrings that no one would ever wear anymore.
The orphaned ones that you just can't find the other matching to. It doesn't have a lot of jewelry value for anymore, but it does have significant precious metal value. It has a lot of commodity value, and so you can sell it if you're okay with letting it go and melting it down.
Well, I think that's the thing too, right? You have to be
You 100% have to be ready. I mean, the great time to sell gold is now because it's at an all-time high. Silver's catching up. Another great reason is because it's been sitting in your drawers forever and you haven't been wearing it. But if this was grandma's and it still makes you feel good to look at it and you're not ready to part with it, then you're not ready to part with it.
Well, and it's true because, I will tell the story coming up in the next segment of my experience coming to see Jen and bringing a whole bunch of my stuff that was passed down to me that I no longer wanted or needed. So we'll discuss. There's lots more coming up on Morning Live. We're back here at Minty Gold and Silver Exchange in Burlington on Brant Street, and we've been discussing how you can get rid of items that may have some sort of sentimental value to you. And I think that's an important feature here. I have come to visit Jen here, and I got rid of a lot of stuff that was left to me after loved ones had passed away. And the customer service that you're going to get here is second to none. You're going to have an appointment, you're going to sit down with these wonderful ladies, and they are going to take you through the process. They're going to tell you how much everything is worth, but they're going to be very patient with you. They're going to take you through the process, and they're going to give you the time that you need to decide if you want to part with it or not. And sometimes you may just need to think about it. Sometimes you need to know what it's worth, and then you need to think about it. So that's what's great about coming here with little trinkets or even bigger items. The customer service is fantastic. They're so understanding and so caring. They really care about you and not your things. Okay, Minty on the Move is a big thing that they have just launched here, and they've got pop-ups that kind of go around town, and you can bring your stuff to them as opposed to coming to their shop. So we've got Maureen here from The Millionaire's Daughter, and you're one of the pop-up locations.
That's where we are, and I was so happy to be involved with this because the way she deals with her customers is the way we always try to deal with our customers for consignment. It's the caring about it. It's understanding if they're really willing to get rid of it, if they're not, to keep it. So it's one of the things that we really believe in, and they've always just done a wonderful job. So I'm really honored to have them.
Yeah, like there's no pressure.
No pressure. And that's the same with us. We try not to pressure anybody. If somebody's not ready to get rid of something, honestly, just keep it.
So, I mean, your partnership totally makes sense, but how did you guys come up with the idea?
Well, it was a mutual conversation that we had. And just that, as I said, the two of us seem to work together very well. And can I tell one story?
Of course.
How wonderful they are?
Yeah.
So I was in the store one day, and what happened is somebody was going to the silver. And I saw Mindy looking at it going, you know, the lady was hesitating about it. And she said, you know what, if you're not ready to let it go, then don't. And see, that's the line I think that you have to use often. And as I said, in our business is what we try to do, because if you're not ready to let something go, then just hold on to it.
Yeah.
Because some things are...
It means something.
It means something.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to be part of this.
And I think quite often is that when you come to a place like this and you assess the value and you see what it's worth, and then maybe you're not ready, and then you go home and you think about it and you think, well, it's just sitting in that drawer, or it's just sitting in a box and I'm not using it, I'm not taking care of it. So really, I could use that money so much more, because I think there's almost like a guilt or like a pressure that you feel from your lost loved one. You're like, ooh, would they be mad at me if I got rid of this stuff? And you really have to kind of compartmentalize everything, and that's hard.
And also too, because often people don't want, you know, you think you're going to be handing it down to somebody.
Yeah.
And your younger children don't want it.
They don't want it.
They don't want it. And it really is a big thing about that. So it's nice for all of this stuff to come together.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for chatting. And
I guess we'll see you at the Millionaire's Daughter for a pop-up.
Yes, when is the first one? Do you know?
Mindy would know.
When is it?
June in Hamilton, first weekend in Hamilton in June.
First weekend of Hamilton in
Second
June.
of June, and Aurora in the 3rd, and you can check it at mintygold.ca.
Mintygold.ca, that is where you can get all the details. We'll have them on our website as well at ch.com.